let's delve into a noteworthy revelation concerning GTA 6, which I can assure you, with utmost confidence, is unquestionably authentic. Such a declaration is indeed a rare occurrence in our domain, where speculations and rumors often prevail. However, the substance of the matter at hand is irrefutably genuine. The revelation of GTA 6's impending disclosure is approaching, and I genuinely emphasize this sentiment. I acknowledge the multitude of speculations surrounding the release of a teaser or the game itself, a topic that has been widely discussed. However, I haven't actively engaged in such assertions. Nevertheless, my belief in the proximity of the reveal remains unwavering. There has been a notable influx of information pertaining to Grand Theft Auto 6, and recently, a particularly substantial and official leak surfaced on the internet. It carries significant weight, and I want to stress that this information is not grounded in speculation or rumor. This revelation is undeniably authentic. Unexpectedly, it came to light that the Australian Classification Board had officially assigned a rating to Grand Theft Auto 6. This, in essence, affirms that Rockstar or Take-Two had formally submitted the game for evaluation, a clear indication that the much-anticipated reveal is on the verge of materializing. By the way, I'm holding a monthly giveaway for a PlayStation 5. You just need to subscribe and you're entered. Now, back to the video. It's crucial to note that this step is traditionally one of the final stages preceding a game's completion. For those who might not be aware, most countries have regulatory bodies responsible for assigning age recommendations to video games. In the United States, we have the ESRB, while Australia employs the ACB for this purpose. It's not uncommon for games to inadvertently surface on the websites of various rating organizations ahead of their official launch. However, the appearance of GTA 6 in this context is particularly intriguing. It's worth mentioning that Rockstar has yet to officially confirm the game's title, let alone its rating. Yet, in mid-October, the Australian Ratings Board conferred an MA15 rating upon GTA 6, citing strong scenes and strong drug use as the grounds for this classification. Interestingly, the website's information regarding GTA 6 did not make any mention of violence or language. It's worth noting that the webpage appears somewhat lacking in content, which could suggest that it was not intended for public access at this early stage. It's highly likely that more details will be added at a later date, and there's a strong possibility that the page may even be removed entirely within the next day or two, now that it's drawing public attention. The crucial point here is that GTA 6 has indeed been formally submitted to various rating boards, marking a significant development. As previously mentioned, this step is typically one of the final stages in a game's development before release. However, there's a specific detail that has raised some concerns among a portion of the community. As per the Australian Ratings Board, GTA 6 is reportedly rated MA15. Notably, GTA 5 had received an MA18 rating, primarily due to its depiction of violence, drug use, and profanity, in line with the expectations from a Grand Theft Auto game. In fact, an MA15 rating would represent the lowest rating ever assigned to a Grand Theft Auto title in Australia. It's worth considering that Australia has a reputation for being rather stringent in their game ratings, frequently assigning the MA18 rating to a wide range of content. Moreover, it's not uncommon for games with excessive violence or explicit content to be refused classification, essentially making them unavailable for sale. The fact that Grand Theft Auto 6 has allegedly received an MA15 rating is raising some eyebrows. One plausible explanation could be that MA15 is not the final rating. Given the circumstances surrounding the inadvertent appearance of the game on the ratings board, it's conceivable that this rating is merely a placeholder or possibly a typographical error that was never meant to be publicly visible on the webpage. On the other hand, it's been circulating within the gaming community that Rockstar, the developer of Grand Theft Auto 6, is aiming to take a somewhat less contentious direction with this installment. This strategy may have led them to either tone down or outright eliminate some of the more mature elements that have traditionally been part of the GTA formula. As a consequence, the game might genuinely warrant a lower rating. Then again, there's the possibility that shifts in societal norms over the last decade have played a role. What a T-rated game can depict in terms of violence and blood in 2023 may well exceed what was considered acceptable in a T-rated game back in 2013. This notion is substantiated by examples like the Halo franchise, which transitioned from an M to a T rating in subsequent releases, without significantly altering the level of violence in the game. Consequently, it's plausible that the Australian Ratings Board now believes that the content of a Grand Theft Auto game is only suitable for an MA15 rating. I acknowledge that this idea might seem a bit far-fetched, but it's not entirely implausible. If indeed Rockstar is adhering to the same core principles of the GTA formula and garners an MA15 rating, they might be content because this opens up the possibility of selling to a wider audience. Another conceivable rationale behind the rating disparity could be censorship. In certain cases, a game has to be modified to align with government ratings board requirements. This has occurred repeatedly over the decades with numerous high-profile games. It's reasonable to see why, why, as a choice between altering specific aspects of a game or foregoing an entire global market, publishers often choose to make the necessary modifications and create a unique regional version. To put it simply, Rockstar might have initially submitted GTA 6 to the Australian Ratings Board with particularly mature content in line with the franchise's tradition. In response, the Australian Ratings Board might have issued a threat of refusing classification unless changes were made. Consequently, Rockstar could have created a specially edited version for the Australian market, removing the most contentious content. However, upon resubmitting this revised version for classification, it may have been assigned an MA15 rating. It may sound somewhat unusual, but for a game of GTA 6's magnitude, it's conceivable that Rockstar and Take-Two wouldn't want to risk missing out on an entire market when the game is released. Suppose the Australian Ratings Board, ARB, declared that they couldn't assign a rating to GTA 6 without the removal of certain offensive content. In that case, it's plausible that Take-Two and Rockstar would have little choice but to make the necessary edits. After all, they wouldn't be able to release one of the most highly anticipated video games to an entire region without a valid rating. I'm not affirming that this is definitively what's taking place, but it could offer an explanation as to how a franchise like Grand Theft Auto could receive an MA15 rating in the present year. Personally, I find myself somewhat undecided. It's not uncommon for games to surface on various international ratings boards before their official announcement. Considering the multitude of ratings boards a game must clear before release, it's understandable that honest mistakes may occasionally occur. It's possible that the rating is indeed a placeholder. Furthermore, the GTA 6 page on the Australian Ratings Board website indicates an MA15 rating for certain content, yet it conspicuously omits any mention of violence and language. This suggests that the web page was published prior to the inclusion of all relevant information, further supporting the notion that the rating is provisional. On the other hand, it wouldn't be surprising if Rockstar chose to play it safe and presented a somewhat less controversial version of the game for the Australian market to avoid the risk of being slapped with a refuse classification. At this juncture in the discussion, some may be pondering whether the rumors of Rockstar toning down GTA 6 are indeed true and account for the rating. Frankly, I have substantial doubts regarding the credibility of those rumors. While it's unquestionably a different era in 2023 compared to when GTA 5 was released in 2013, I don't believe Rockstar would compromise the essence of how GTA narratives are told or curtail their audacity. This is a franchise that has shown an unapologetic stance in the past, unafraid of offending sensibilities. I strongly believe that if the game ultimately receives an MA15 rating in Australia, it won't be due to significant alterations in the base game itself. It's more likely that the MA15 rating currently displayed on the website is a provisional, or that the Australian version may undergo some form of censorship. Nevertheless, I firmly believe that GTA 6, in its entirety, will not be toned down or made less provocative. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this matter.